The first thing I remember about that house was the smell. It hit me the moment we stepped inside. Thick and sweet, like old perfume pressed into the carpet. I was 7, maybe 8, and the scent clung to my clothes for days. We squeezed 7 of us into 3 bedrooms. My parents, my siblings, my cousin, and me. Even with my uncle supposed to be living in a bare apartment nearby, he was with us most nights, bringing his old boxer dog along. The house was always full, always noisy. We'd moved for my brother's football coach, but the neighborhood was nothing like what we'd known before. People kept to themselves. At night, I'd hear shouting from the street, sometimes sirens, sometimes just the wind rattling the old windows. I hated the beds. The sheets looked too old, the patterns reminded me of something sick, so I started sleeping on the living room couch, under the window with the mini blinds always drawn shut. My mom had bought that couch, so it felt newer, safer. Every night, I'd fall asleep to the TV playing old Ninja Turtles episodes. It was the only thing that calmed me down. The light from the screen made the room feel less empty, less strange. One night, I woke up for no reason. The TV was still on, flickering green and purple across the walls. I turned over, half asleep, ready to close my eyes again. But then I saw them. 2 eyes, wide and shining, staring straight through the gap in the blinds above me. They were higher than I could reach, almost pressed to the glass. I screamed and bolted off the couch, my feet tangling in the blanket. I ran straight to my parents' room, sobbing so hard I could barely breathe. My dad shot up from the bed. He's a huge guy, built like a wall, and when I told him someone was at the window, he didn't hesitate. He grabbed a flashlight and went out the front door. He found nothing. No one in the yard, no sound except the distant hum of traffic. I ended up sleeping between my parents that night, clutching my knees to my chest. No one really believed me after that. My mom said it was probably a dream, or maybe car headlights. I stopped sleeping on the couch and tried not to think about the eyes. A few weeks later, my brother crashed on that same couch after football practice. He was older than me, and nothing seemed to scare him. He slept there all night. Around 2 a.m, he woke me up. He whispered, asking what I'd seen that night on the couch. My heart started racing. I told him about the eyes, the way they stared through the blinds. He told me he'd just seen the same thing. Eyes right at the window, watching him through the blinds. We both ran to our parents' room, stumbling over each other, trying to explain. This time my dad went outside and saw something. Huge footprints, pressed deep into the dirt right below the window. Too big to be ours. He stared at them for a long time before coming back in. We started to think maybe it was just some creep, a peeper from the neighborhood. The area was rough, everyone knew that. My dad said if they ever tried to get in, he'd handle it. My brother came up with a fix. He turned the blinds so the slats pointed upward instead of down. That way, if anyone tried to peek in, all they'd see was the ceiling, not us. For a while, nothing happened. I started to relax again, or at least I tried. The house was still cramped, still smelled like old perfume, but it felt a little less threatening. Then one night, we all left for a birthday party. I forgot to turn off the TV in the living room, like always. The house was empty except for my uncle's dog, who we let roam free when we were gone. When we got home, the place was a mess. The front door looked scratched, deep claw marks near the handle. The back door frame was chipped, like someone had tried to pry it open with a crowbar. There were scratches on the inside of the door too, from the dog trying to get at whoever was outside. My library book was shredded, my backpack dumped out, homework torn to scraps. My parents said whoever it was must have been after me or my brother, since we were the only ones ever seen on the couch. We didn't call the police. There was nothing to show them except the mess and the footprints. Not long after, we packed up and moved back to our old neighborhood. The new house was smaller, but it felt safer. Nothing ever happened there. Sometimes I still think about those eyes, the way they waited in the dark. I wonder if whoever was out there ever found what they were looking for. I'm just glad we left before they tried again.